Mick Mulvaney, the president's former chief of staff, NewsNation contributor, live with us tonight here on the Hill. Hello, sir.
Hello, Berman.
There was a headline, Mick, in the Wall Street Journal that really caught my attention this morning, and here's what it was. Xi Jinping is ratcheting up China's pain threshold for a long fight with Trump. The reality is, Mick, that's a communist nation, and they are in it for a long fight, and Xi can just ratchet up the pain, as the Wall Street Journal puts it. The president's the president for the next 4 years and cannot go down this path. I know President Trump says he holds the cards and we hold the cards, but when you view it in that light, does he?
Yeah, it's a real risk. By the way, it's a risk with Russia as well. I think lots of folks in the West, in the United States of America, in Europe, misunderstand how much sort of deprivation these foreign dictators can put their own people through. Xi can put his own people through things in China that we could never get away with in the West.
Yep.
The same is true for Putin. So, I mean, I think it's part of the negotiating calculus that some of us get wrong in the West because we assume those leaders will act like ours will.
It's right. And whether you view it as rational thinking or not, right? On the issue of Russia and Ukraine, I think it was like 50 to 60 days into the first 100 days. I don't know. It was like a month or so ago, Mick. And you told me that you thought basically everything had been going to plan for Trump, right? All the headlines, whatever, set it aside. You basically said, yeah, they kind of expected all this up until this point, except for Russia and except for Putin. That's what you told me about a month ago. Here we are a month later, and the president had to take to social media today for a warning to Vladimir Putin. Is that still your thinking tonight?
Yeah, I think they've got a problem with Russia. I think they thought they'd have a deal by now, and they don't. They've got a problem with Ukraine, and Trump is absolutely spot on about that. There was an idea floated over this last couple of days about the U.S. recognizing Crimea as part of Russia, as part of a larger peace agreement, and the Ukrainians objected to that. Any peace deal is going to require the Ukrainians to go along. Trump really needs the Europeans to sort of squeeze the Ukrainians at this point and say, look, you didn't fight over Crimea in the first place. We know it's in your constitution that Crimea is part of Ukraine, but we need a peace deal here. You need a peace deal here. There's no way Crimea is ever going to be part of Ukraine in the foreseeable future. So they can't let Ukraine sort of throw a monkey wrench into these discussions. Trump has a real problem. He's got a problem with Russia and a problem with Ukraine.
Let me move you to the Trump Organization. And if you're wondering why I'm talking about the Trump Organization, they started selling this today on the website. Trump 2028. Mick, we know that he's term limited, a second term. We know that the White House had basically said, the only reason that this is an issue is because you guys keep asking him about it, and so he keeps answering. That's the Trump Organization saying, you know what? Bring it on. The thought is that either A, he's trolling, and or B, he wants to remind people that he's not a lame duck president, which he is. Is it that, or is something else going on here?
Well, I think it's a combination of A and B and C. And C is they're going to make some money off of this. I mean, they just are. It is. It's a Trump Organization thing. This is a profit center for them. Look, I think he's trolling. I really do. I think there's folks out there like Steve Bannon who are serious about it. But Steve, in my mind, sort of tends towards anarchist anyway. So he'd love to see something outrageous like that. But at the end of the day, look, Trump has got some bigger problems right now than 2028. Yeah. The economy is not where he wants it to be yet. And he doesn't need to worry about 2028 until he fixes the economy, fixes Russia, and fixes the relationship with China.
Mick Mulvaney, NewsNation contributor, former Trump White House chief of staff. Thank you, sir. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.